Hi, my name is Arika Lewinsky, and I'm the Senior Product Manager for the release stage here at GitLab. Today, I want to walk through some of the really exciting stuff that we have planned for the 13.12 release. You can follow along by going to the CI/CD Release Group Project, issue number 62. So I'm going to start by talking about group level permission configuration for protected environments. This is a request that we've heard from different organizations, especially those that are highly regulated and need different kinds of permissions for different kinds of users throughout their pipelines. What we can normally say about environments is that there's different types of environments that we support, and each environment needs different permission types. So we have, for example, a dev environment, a testing environment where it's not exposed to users and basically anyone can deploy there. But when we're talking about staging and production environments, we need higher regulations. In organizations where there are lots and lots of projects, project level protected environments is just not sufficient enough. It's really hard to add specific permissions for every single project. So the idea of group level permissions allows you to consolidate different projects under a specific group and allows you to give different permissions to that specific group, whether it be a maintainer role for that group, a developer role, and so on, or you can explicitly give someone permissions to deploy to that environment. Now, when we started working on this issue, group level permissions, we noticed that there's a previous issue that we delivered that is a blocking issue. So we may need to revert, allow reporters to run jobs that deploy to an environment if they're explicitly listed. And what this allowed you to do was that even if you were not a maintainer in a project, you were still allowed to push deployments to production. And so we may need to revert that. We're not entirely sure, but once we move forward with this group level permissions, we'll see how we can kind of still allow explicitly letting users deploy to production, but they will probably need an additional role. The next issue that I wanted to talk about is adding event timestamps to jobs and deployment webhooks. So we're going to start specifically to deployment webhooks. And what we want to do is add additional metadata like timestamp or event timestamp that will let you sort and filter and understand what's going on in your webhooks, which this information is currently not available. The next issue that I want to kind of discuss is moving user lists to its own subpage of feature flags. So if today you are a feature flag user, you can see that on the feature flag list view, which kind of looks like this today, there's a tab that allows you to view user lists, and you can do different kind of operations there. You can create your own lists, you can edit them, and user lists are really joint between different feature flags. And what we want to do is kind of make it its own page. So user list will move out of this tab-like view, and it will become its own page that you can access independently. That will make it much more convenient, easily accessed, but it'll have its own URL, and so on. Next thing that we're going to work on is making it more obvious that a request to deploy an environment has been requested successfully. And this is kind of going to look like this. So in your merge request, you're going to see a start environment. If you press it, you'll see the starting environment working. And eventually, you will also see a stop or stop environment button as well. So this is some usability improvements to make it more obvious what's going on in your pipelines. And the last thing that I want to talk about, even though there's a lot of content, is group level deployment frequency CI/CD charts, which is on top of our DORA 4 metrics, which we're continuously working on. We have added API for deployment frequency, both on the project level and the group level, and API for project and group level for lead time for changes. And now we also have charts for project level deployment frequency and lead time for changes. And now we're introducing the first group level chart, which is going to be for deployment frequency. It will be very similar to what we have on the project level, but it will have the group level data. So it will have aggregated data for all the different projects. So it will look something like this. If you go to under your group level, under CI/CD, you will be able to see a similar chart on the group level. And maybe one more to go. Another bonus point feature that we're going to be working on in this release is deploy freeze, remove a freeze period via UI. So we recently worked on allowing users to edit the freeze period in the UI, and now we're adding also the option to delete. So it'll look something like this. You'll now have an option to remove a deploy freeze. So it really gives you maximal flexibility. As you can see in the issue, there's a lot of things that I didn't talk about because of the lack of time, but you're welcome to view the issue and give us feedback or ping me on any of the issues, or email me at lgolowinski@gitlab.com. I'm really excited for this upcoming release. It's going to be a great release, and I'm looking forward to hearing feedback from you.